Hi, this is Coach Charles Brom with Fit Health USA here in Herndon, Virginia. Question of the day, how do I prepare for holiday parties? So you've probably been invited to several holiday parties between now and the end of the year, and I have some good news and bad news for you. Bad news, if you are in no way a disciplined person, if every time you go to a party you walk in, you just start drinking and eating the entire time you're there, there's really not going to be much of a shortcut for you. My best advice is to pick 2 or 3 parties for the entire season, the ones you think you'll enjoy the most, and only go to those. Because if you're going to a party every other night and as soon as you start eating a cookie or get that first sugary drink, you're just going to continue the entire night, as many people do. You're going to put on 10 or 15 pounds over the holiday season, and we want to stay away from that. And sometimes the easiest and best answer is to just limit your exposure to environments where you know you're going to completely fall off the wagon. I used to do that all the time myself, so I know exactly what happens. 4 hours of drinking and eating can put on a whole lot of weight. You do that twice a week. I don't know how many times I put on 7 or 10 pounds over the entire holiday season, then fought all January, February, and March to get them back off again. And that's a losing battle, as we all know. It just keeps pounding on year after year after year. 10 years of putting on an extra 2 pounds is 20 extra pounds. So what's the recommendation for those of us who can have just a little bit of extra discipline? First thing I'd recommend to do is to eat before you go to the party. That way when you walk into the party at 7:30 at night and there's a big display of desserts in place, the first thing you don't do is fill up an entire plate of cookies and such to eat your evening meal. That's about one of the worst things you can do. And of course, most people would wash that down with some kind of alcoholic drink, especially some fun Christmas or holiday related drinks that are typical this time of year. When you get to the party, if you spend time introducing yourself to everyone there, that eats up quite a bit of time. And when people keep offering you a drink, you say, oh, as soon as I've introduced myself to everybody and said hi, then I'll go ahead and grab a drink. And then when it does come time to get that drink, instead of your first drink being a beer or a glass of wine, an alcoholic mixed drink, get a glass of water and say, oh, why aren't you drinking? Well, just tell them you're rehydrating. You're hydrating before drinking for the evening so you don't have a headache. And then have a drink. Look over all the food that's in place. If there's a heavy protein and fat kind of snack there, I would recommend that snack over the sugary grain type snacks. So stay away from the cookies and such. Maybe have one towards the end of the evening. But don't start out that way or you'll be doing it the whole night. Have a glass of water between each drinking you have, and tell yourself when you first get there that you're not going to have more than 2 or 3 drinks, and decide how much food you're going to have ahead of time and when you're going to eat it. So the best time to eat that food is maybe midway through the party. And it's a lot easier to do that if you're not hungry. So just like you wouldn't go into the grocery store starving, showing up at a holiday party really hungry after a long day of work and fighting an hour's worth of traffic, you're not going to have any discipline at all. You're just going to eat and eat and eat. And it's going to taste great, and you're just going to eat more. And that beer that you're washing it down with, it won't even touch your thirst. You're going to grab, several more. And then you're going to feel really bad about having eaten and drank so much, either later that night or the next day. And at some point you say, oh, what the hell? I've put on so much weight already. Let me just enjoy the whole rest of the season. So we want to avoid that level of falling off the wagon whenever possible. So in summary, my suggestion for you is this. If you don't have any discipline at all, limit the number of parties you go to just 2 or 3 and enjoy yourself. But if you feel like you can put some discipline in place, this is what I recommend doing. Eat before you go to the party. When you first get there, spend time introducing yourself to all the guests, ask a couple questions. This is going to eat up 30 or 60 minutes of the party. Start out by drinking a glass of water. When you do eat food, go for the heavier protein and fat snacks that are in place. Decide how much you're going to eat ahead of time, and then don't go back and get any more. Put it all on one plate. Don't go back to the table again. Have your first drink after you've had a glass of water. Have a glass of water between each drink, and decide how many drinks you're going to have while you're at the party ahead of time. That's what I got for now. If you have any further questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.